4 years later, passed their high school exams, their class 10 exams. And so I said, how can we take this to the next level? How can we turn this into something a little bigger? And in the colony in which I live in Delhi, there was a mandir, almost like a religious foundation, not a temple, that had a building which was almost unused because it was an Arya Samaj mandir and there aren't a lot of Arya Samajis around. And I said, look, this building is mostly unused. Do you mind if I do something with it every day? And they said, yeah, sure. And so I wrote an email to everybody who lived in my colony. I got it from the Resident Welfare Association, and I said, would you mind if we engaged your domestic staff every day for a certain amount of time and gave them some sort of formal education? And some people found it invasive, and some people were okay with the idea. And so today, every day, I teach there once a week on Sundays, but every day we have about 250 people from our colony who are domestic staff, and a lot of them have gone on now to finish class 12, etc., because it's been going on now for many years. I became the MP of a place called Sultanpur last time. Now I'm the MP from Pilibhit, and it was my second term last time, and I would go to villages. And Pilibhit was sort of nurtured by my mother's constituency for a long time, so the human development indicators were a little higher. But Sultanpur is Eastern UP, and Eastern UP and Bihar are still fairly backward. And I would go from village to village, and I would say, would you like me to build a bridge or a patch of road or something? And a lot of people would just look me in the eye and they would say, I'm hungry, can you give me something to eat? And I was a bit stunned by that because nobody had ever said that to me, and how do you react? It's such a gut punch when somebody says that to you, that, forget about a road or a school, I'm hungry, because there's nothing more visceral than that. And I said, okay, so we started something which then became very widely known and replicated. We started the Roti Bank, which is, what I did was, I believe that movements can only grow if they're civil society movements. And so we said, and we bought these third-hand, fourth-hand Maruti vans that my father actually had built many, many years ago. And we had 17 points of entry, and we gave them, lentils and vegetables, just one sabzi and one dal, and we asked people to give the rotis, and today we collect about 60 to 70,000 rotis every day, given by people, and we feed about 15, 17,000 people every day. People otherwise who would have gone hungry, and it just spread very wide, the message. I remember one day when I was there, my mother is the member of parliament from there just now, and I went there and I was standing, and there was a person outside who was, in vulgar parlance, one could say he was a beggar, and he was standing there, and I said, look, I'm not handing out any money, but there's food inside, so you're most welcome to go and eat. And he said, no, I've been eating there for a while. And he said, I've actually saved up money, and he put the money in my hand, and he gave me 500 rupees for the effort. And that really is, the spirit of India. We have to do what we can within the syntax of what we do, within the syntax of where we work, etc. So I was given a task, as all us MPs were, to go to the villages and make membership for the party. And I did, dutifully. I went from village to village, and everywhere I went, people would give me flowers, as they do, right? And it just occurred to me that it was a very strange thing, because flowers are dead things, right? You kill a flower to give to somebody. And how could death be the symbol of something starting anew, right? I just found it very ironic that why would you give death to, to somebody to symbolize? It's like I wouldn't give a dead chicken to somebody to say I love you to them. And I thought, and I said to them that why don't you give me instead a potted plant or a sapling, and maybe we can plant it together, because that will be the symbol of something that's fresh, that's new, and that is the start of a relationship journey, etc. And so I said, everybody who wants to be working with me in whatever capacity, let's just plant fruit trees. And we did. And I said, I'll put your picture and thank you on Facebook or whatever. And so that, I suppose, was a little bit of a trigger. And we got people to plant 250,000 trees. And today those trees are, on their way to being something. I feel that we need all of us to engage in some sort of project, social transformation, but we need to invest in it, time-wise, emotionally, monetarily, etc. My maternal grandmother died in 2011, and she left me some money, and she said, I want you to do something responsible with it. And I wasn't really sure what to do, because responsibility had really never been my forte. And I said, well, what do I do? And I said, I was in my constituency, and I work very much with farmers. And farmers would say to me that, look, there's no way we can make money, because one, we do cash crops, and the second, we farm the way we were farming 100 years ago, right? So how can we make money? How is it possible? We don't know any other method. So I tied up with Punjab Agricultural University, with Pusa Institute, and they said, look, we'll go there and we'll train farmers, but you should pay us. Because in India, if you do something for free, nobody values it at all. And I said, yeah, sure. And they did that for 6 months. And I don't know if any of you are from Delhi. Are any of you from Delhi? So, okay, so some of you are from Delhi. So you know that there's a market in Delhi called INA, and it's quite a posh market. And so we just created a supply chain for INA. And today in Pilibhit, they're not doing only sugarcane and wheat. Today they're doing things like asparagus and artichoke and Brussels sprouts and iceberg lettuce. And today about 7 to 10% of the fresh produce that you get in INA is from my constituency, created by all of us. And we have the only profit-making cooperative in the state of UP, the only one. And I have 0% ownership in it, because by definition it's owned by the farmers, but they get about 5 or 7 times what they were making before. So my sense is that solutions are possible, but they need to be citizen-driven. When I wrote my book, A Rural Manifesto, I started my journey from a village in Uttarakhand called Raini. And the reason I started there was because many years ago, Solarlal Bahuguna and Chandi Prasad Bhatt had started the Chipko movement from there. And it was a movement decades ahead of its time, where they were talking about things like environmental denudation of the hills, water scarcity, land fall, etc. And I was very interested that before the communication and information revolution, how did people actually visualize starting a movement? And so I started from there, and I had to go quickly to Bangalore after that to speak at the National Law School. And I was there, and I saw like thousands of students outside the law school, very feverish in their, in their energy. And I said, God, I hope they're not protesting my lecture, but they weren't. So I got off my car, and they said, listen, we want your signature, and we want you to give a missed call on this WhatsApp number. And I said, for what? And they said, there's a steel flyover being built in Bangalore that's going to cut 1,800 of the oldest trees there. And so we want to stop this. And they got together, and 100,000 people, 1 lakh people gave missed calls on WhatsApp that very day. And then 1 week later, when they felt actually formed a human chain around those trees, and 25,000 young people did that. It was in front of me. And so I just thought, this is starting from Chipko, to modern movements. This is a very interesting journey that India is undertaking. And it doesn't always have to be volume that drives movements. So one of the things that I learned during my travels in India is the huge impact that one individual who exerts a powerful energy and truth can have. Have any of you heard of a young man from Hyderabad called Ravi Teja? Has anybody heard of him? You've heard of him. So Ravi Teja was a youngster who one day just saw somebody having an accident over a pothole. And he said, okay, why should I go to my, and he was a kid, he was 13 years old. And he said, why should I go to my local councillor or my member of parliament or my MLA when in fact I can just get together with my friends and start filling these potholes on my own? And that's exactly what they started doing. They started fixing potholes all over the city of Hyderabad. And the media heard about this, and they were, they applauded it. And the city of Bangalore heard about it, and so they called Ravi Teja and these people who by then were 16 years old, and they said, right, how can we institutionalize this effort? And what he did was they got together with a group of technologists and they made something which is very interesting. If you can, please have a look at it. It's called the BBMP Pothole Reporter. So BBMP is the municipality of Bangalore. And what it is that if you take a snapshot of a pothole and you upload it on the app, if it's not fixed within 48 hours, the municipal engineer in charge of that area gets docked 100 rupees every day from their salary, and that 100 rupees directly enters your account. And it became a very, very important tool, and I want to get it done in other cities as well, and I'll be moving a parliament legislation for that this time. When we talk about one person making a huge difference, so I was in West Bengal and I was studying why the districts of Malda and Murshidabad had increased so many times in education levels, primary education levels, and I was talking to some people there, and they said, you should meet Babar Ali. And I said, who's Babar Ali? And I don't know if any of you know Babar's story. You know the story. So Babar was a son of a poor jute farmer, and as you know, jute is not something that's doing very well. And he was the only child in his village called Bhapta that would actually go to school every day. And he felt a bit guilty about this. So every time he came back, he would sit under a guava tree, which I saw, and teach other young children what he learned that day in school. And soon his fame grew, so somebody would come and give him some chalk and some paper and some books, and nobody in the Indian media, surprisingly enough, ever wrote one line about him. But CNN heard about him, and so they gave him one of the Change Makers of the Year award. I think it's called the Heroes of the Year, Real Heroes or whatever, and $100,000 with it. And Babar was very young, but he said this money has come from education, and so it must go back to education. And so he built a very big school in his village, which is much bigger than this hall actually. And he said there will only be 3 rules at the school. 1, everybody who learns will learn free. Everybody who teaches will teach free. And everybody who learns will go outside and teach will teach 3 people what they've learned that day. And so this really is a revolution. You said my time is over? 1 minute? So I'm like halfway through. Should I continue or should I just quit? Okay. I'll just finish and then, is that okay? I've never had anybody show me a sign saying time is hobbies of being at Harvard. And so I have a lot more examples, but I think I'll cut it short. So the reason I come out to places like this is because it is hugely impactful. one of the things that struck me was one day I saw a lot of Tamil Nadu farmers protesting the agrarian crisis in their state, and women had shaved off their heads. They were protesting in a very graphic manner. And the next day, the Tamil Nadu Assembly had a special session. I thought it was to address this problem of agrarian crisis, but it was actually for all legislators to vote to double their own salaries. And I thought it was very bizarre. And so up till now in the Indian Parliament, how you basically got to increase your salary, unlike a doctor or a teacher or any kind of official, is just to raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, you gave yourself a salary hike. And I had seen 5 salary hikes in the decade that I had been there, which I thought was kind of obscene. And I said, there has to be an institutional mechanism to deal with it. And so every college and university that I would go and speak, I would say, right, can you just do one thing for me? Can you write into the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, whoever you think should be written to, and tell them that parliamentarians shouldn't arrogate to themselves the right to increase their salaries at will. And it became such a big thing that the late Arun Jaitley, in his last budget that he presented, actually now put an institution in place which will look at cost of living, standard of living, performance audits, etc., to decide when and if this can be done. So it's people like you actually who did and could change it. So I just want to end things. My speech is actually much longer, but I want to end by just saying that my trigger and for coming to a place like this is because all of you are going to be at the forefront of some social, economical, ecological, human interest policy transformation at some point. And if you can adopt one single project, place, effort, and just double down on that, whether it's sterilizing street dogs in your area, or whether it's feeding somebody, or whether it's adopting one old age home, or whether it's just doing one thing, building a small public library, then really you will be that change maker, and together we can build the India and the world of our dreams. Thank you. It's okay, I'll just stand. Sure.
You want to stand in this?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you the first question, because I have the stage and I probably will do that. So you started your speech with saying, when you talk loudly, you get blamed for it. So I am going to ask you something controversial in line with that. So on the one hand, you've written a tool on agriculture, you've written a variety of op-eds on serious policy issues. But on the other hand, when we get to campaigns, you've also been accused of speeches that have been inflammatory and so on.
No,
so
actually, I was.
I'll ask you my question. My question is, of course, these are perils of being a politician. How do you balance rhetoric on the ground versus reason in these environments where you also have to speak eloquently about policy issues, but you also get voters to vote for you? What is the balance you draw, and what is the thinking there?
11 years ago, I was accused of making one speech, so not inflammatory speeches. The Supreme Court of India cleared me. The government of UP apologized to me officially. There's no case on me. There was the Hyderabad Forensic Science Laboratory found that the video that the media put out was completely fake. My voice, which is a very soft voice, was nothing like the person that was speaking on that video, which sounded kind of like Amitabh Bachchan or something. And so it was just a hack job that was done. And yes, I went through a tough time, but I fought in court. I won all my cases. And like I said, the government of UP apologized to me. The Supreme Court Chief Justice of India said that this had been a huge miscarriage of justice. And after that, in my decade of parliament, I don't think you've heard anything remotely like that ever again. So, I would just like to say that I don't need people to vote for me like that. And I would also like to say that I don't think that's the way things should be done. So.
One follow-up question to that. So while that's not your style. They are members of your party, but also members of the political environment you're in right now, who do that in general. Do you think there's really a demand among voters to hear speeches? Because and that rhetoric seems to be working. Do you think there's a demand for that then?
What I do feel is this, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done and that can be done about the way that you approach your message to the last man of India. And if you do that with responsibility, then that message is going to be appreciated. So I don't think that there's a market for that sort of thing. I think that it's an easy thing to do, but I don't think that doing the easy thing means always doing the best or the right thing.
So if you have questions, I'd encourage you to start lining up along those mics right here. And in the meantime, while you do that, I'm going to ask one more question. So Mr. Gandhi, again, like I said,
can I just take them now from?
No, so I'll ask you one question. We'll take 3 at a time. We'll take 3 at a time so that we can take as many as possible. One quick question. Sure. Again, you've talked about in your speech, but also in your book and op-eds, you've talked about systemic changes that Indian agriculture needs. But if we look at not just the government in power right now, but even previous governments, agriculture often receives lip service before elections. You increase minimum support prices. You give SOPs to farmers. What is it going to take for an Indian government to actually implement some of these systemic changes and not just treat farmers as a vote bank for elections?
So it's a very, very big question. And okay, so the question that you're really asking me is not the question that you think you're asking me. The question that you're asking me is how do we get rural incomes up? That's the real question you're asking me.
In a systemic manner, not like one time.
Yeah. So the way to do it is to look at a village economy in totality and not just look at agriculture. Right? Agriculture is a loss-making profession today for a variety of reasons, and I can give you like a 5-hour lecture on how to turn that around. But what we can do is I can share with you that I'm working on a plan called MILAP, and MILAP is Mission for Infrastructure and Linkages for Agriculture and Artisanal Produce. So that's taking low-end manufacturing into villages, actually using e-commerce platforms to avoid brick and mortar, because brick and mortar is sort of unnecessary expenditure today. And so to use traditional skills that exist in villages as well as products on the commodity scale near those areas to try and scale up job creation there. So that is the answer. The answer is not to say that don't do cash crops and everything, because there are reasons that people do those. They're not crazy. The thing to do is to look at village economy. My book is not about agriculture, my book is about rural economics. But right now I'm working on a book on urbanization, because all of these things have half their teeth in each other. Yeah, you wanted to ask a question. Yeah.
Mr. Gandhi, in the eyes of many people, the legacy of Prime Minister Modi appears to be a mixed, slightly polarizing one, drawing very strong reactions from either side. And I think this is probably exacerbated after recent events. As a BJP MP, what do you have to say to that?
That's a good question. I want to give a little bit of a detailed answer to this. So
can I take two more questions just so that we take 3 at a time?
I want to take this question.
No,
because I will take each question with the respect of each.
Time for too many, then I want to make sure we get a lot of questions.
Yeah, but that would mean that I'll do a third-rate job in answering all of them. So I just want to take 3 or 4 questions and really answer them, right? Because you've all spent time to come and listen to me. I just want to give that respect. Okay, I want to address this question factually, okay, rather than use any rhetoric. So when Shri Modi became the Prime Minister of India, before he took oath, he gave us a speech in the central hall of the lower house of Parliament, and he said in that speech that my government is dedicated to the last man of India, the invisible man who nobody has ever seen or looked at before. Look at the actions that he undertook after that, right? The first thing that he did was to look at the Gandhian legacy, which was not yet completed of open defecation free villages, right? So India is a very proud country where unfortunately a lot of people's mothers, sisters, daughters had to defecate openly in the fields, right? And it's a horrible indignity for the last man of India. And so they built 1 crore toilets, which gave people a sense of self-pride and honor and the life that a normal human being should have. The second thing that they did was to look at, and I want you all to listen to this carefully, is to look at the LPG cylinders, right? Not in terms of just getting input costs down when running a home, but 450,000 Indian women died every year. This is an actual statistic. 450,000 Indian women died every year just by indoor air pollution, by burning cow dung cakes, or burning coal, or burning firewood. 450,000 women died every year. Do you know how many women died last year? 0. If in America, right, or in Sweden or wherever, one person had saved the lives of 450,000 women, they would be competing for the Nobel Peace Prize, right? But we live in a country where people are not used to, really talking about their leaders' achievements in the way that they deserve. Then you look at the houses that they built, right? Look at the enormity of work that was done in the 3 crore villages that have been electrified, in the 2.2 crore houses that have been built, right? Look at the 8 crore families that have been, of farmers that have been given direct income support under PM Kisan, right? Just look at the way that social spending has reached the last man for the first time in Indian history. So when you look at skill development, right? Nobody had ever talked about skill development. There was no ministry for it. There was no recognition that the enormity. I will take your question right after this. That the enormity.
Where's the air pollution data from? The death from air pollution data from?
If you give me your email, I'll send it to you. Yeah. So what I'd like to say is that when you look at skill development, right, the enormity of talent that exists in rural India, right, the fact that nobody thought to take somebody and to invest in them as an individual, when you look at the fact that 1.2 crore people have been skilled up, right? In my constituency today, you have things like bakeries that have been set up by young people, just older than you and younger than me, who somebody has taken a chance on for the first time. And I'm just talking about one very small thing, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of examples like this. Even today, under the National Apprenticeship Program, 19 lakh people are being apprenticed as we speak, because I sit on the Parliamentary Committee for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, so I have a slight insight into this. So if you look at all these things that have been done, I would say nobody needs me to defend or speak about their legacy. But what I think is important is that facts should speak for themselves. The biggest cause for impoverishment in rural India is one member of your family falling ill, right? That's a government fact, right? So if one person falls ill, all your savings for the family go. 1 crore people go below the poverty line every 2 years just because of healthcare costs. Ayushman Bharat has done 1.1 crore operations till date. That's 1.1 crore families that would have been saved from the debt trap. Will it solve every problem? Perhaps not. But when I look at the enormity of the work that is done, and I think that he is a transformative leader in the way that he's bet on people who nobody's ever looked at before. Right? When you look at the criticism of Shri Modi, it is the remnants of a calcified elite, an elite that I am at the apex of, exactly from Palamu, Jharkhand, right? So I am probably at the apex of every kind of elite in India, right? But the time has come where we are not just our fathers and mothers' children, that what we bring to the table is not who our parents are, that what we bring to the table is our thoughts, our hard work, our vision, and what we bring to the table for a social transformation larger than ourselves, right? Because when that India is put into place, it will be a fairer, more equal, more democratic, and a richer India for all of us in every way.